Turning to other news now, after ordering an unprecedented military strike against a Venezuelan gang, the Trump administration has crossed a new threshold in its war on drug trafficking. The White House will reportedly deploy 10 F-35 fighter jets to Puerto Rico in order to conduct offensive operations against drug cartels in the region. Anonymous sources claiming that the warplanes could even arrive as early as late next week. They'll be added, if confirmed, to an already growing U.S. military presence in the Southern Caribbean. Here's the U.S. Secretary of Defense.
We have the absolute and complete authority to conduct that. First of all, just the defense of the American people alone. We knew exactly who they were, exactly what they were doing, what they represented, and why they were going where they were going. Every boatload of any form of drug that poisons the American people is an imminent threat. And at the DoD, our job is to defeat imminent threats. A foreign terrorist organization poisoning your people with drugs coming from a drug cartel is no different than Al-Qaeda. And they'll be treated as such as they were in international law.
Was there an imminent...
Well, for more analysis then on this story, France 24's international affairs editor Kethevane Gorjestani joins me now on set. Hi, Kethevane. So this stepped-up war on drugs from the White House, of course, reached new heights earlier last week when the U.S. carried out strikes allegedly on Venezuelan gang members. So, what's behind this new escalation?
Well, look, there's been tension, to say the least, between the U.S. and the Venezuelan government for years now, and the U.S. government simply doesn't recognize Maduro as the legitimate leader of Venezuela. But over the summer, things really heated up. First, you had the fact that Donald Trump announced that he was doubling the bounty on the head of Nicolas Maduro to $50 million, which is, even though it's not the same time frame, it's double what was at the time the bounty on Osama bin Laden. In response at that time, which was early August, Maduro announced that he was activating more than 4.5 million militiamen to defend the country against outside threats. Then you had the Trump administration deploying 7 warships in the Caribbean with 4,000 or more Marines and sailors to conduct, it said, operations specifically against narco-terrorist organizations operating in the region. Now, the first such operation against narco-terrorists that we know of, at least, is the one that Donald Trump announced on Tuesday, where the U.S. government claims that it destroyed a boat carrying massive amounts of drugs from Venezuela to the United States, killing 11 people on board that the U.S. says were all part of the gang, the cartel Tren de Aragua. Now, the U.S. has given no evidence on any of these elements, whether there was actual drugs and what drugs were there, how they knew that these 11 people were all part of the cartel, whether this boat was actually indeed going to the United States. None of that has been made public. So the U.S. hasn't given any evidence. And to react, yesterday, you had 2 Venezuelan military planes flying over a U.S. warship in international waters. So a stepping up of the sort of demonstration of force from one side and the other. And finally, now you have those reports that the U.S. is intending on having 10 F-35 stationed in Puerto Rico to operate in the region, which shows that neither side right now is willing to de-escalate the situation.
Now, Maduro, Kethevane, has accused the U.S. as recently as just days ago of seeking regime change in Venezuela. Do you think these narco trafficking operations are really about these cartels, or is there some truth to what Maduro has said?
Well, look, it's clear that drugs are partly the issue. The Trump administration has made it one of its key battles to prevent the flow of drugs coming into the country. We saw it in Donald Trump, announcing tariffs on certain countries to stop the flow of fentanyl. He did it with Mexico. He did it with China. He did it with Canada, or by implementing or using force, which he just did with Venezuela. And to that end, they've designated several of these drug cartels, whether they're Salvadorian, Venezuelan, or from other countries, as terrorist organization. And why did they declare them terrorist organization? It's because by using the terror threat, the U.S. argues that it is a national security threat to the United States, and therefore it justifies this use of force. But there's also this idea that Maduro is the head of the whole operation, that he is a terrorist. That's what Marco Rubio said. Nicolas Maduro is not a government. He's not a political regime. He is a terrorist organization. In their justification, that means that they could potentially at some point use force against the leader of the cartel.